So in the broader sense of the word, we are looking for patterns on charts. But within TA, we can identify several famous patterns that actually look like a pattern. Pattern inception, I know. Two of the most used and easiest to recognize are triangles and wedges. Note that patterns like these are often called continuation patterns. And in simple terms, a pattern is visible and a signal and is a signal that price may continue in the direction of the trend. So that's what meant with the continuation. Don't be shocked by the beautiful drawing I made on the chart, but generally triangles come in three forms: symmetrical, ascending, and descending. And the first one, which is drawn on the top right, is the most neutral, but depending on trend, could signal price is about to continue in the direction of the trend. The ascending triangle is considered a bullish pattern, and a descending triangle is considered a bearish pattern. And the same goes for the wedges. So bearish on the left, bullish on the right. Bearish meaning that price is most likely going to continue, or could signal that it's most likely going to continue in the direction of the trend downwards, and bullish the opposite direction. I've drawn two already. So as you can recognize, here we have the horizontal line here on top, and the trend line, if you will, in the bottom. And this is generally considered a bullish sign. So price fails to break resistance here, but there is still a trend going on that is upwards. So eventually, the more times this resistance gets tested, generally speaking, the weaker it gets. And you can see here on volume, buyers decided, okay, now it's time to just push through and get price higher. Funny thing to note is that price here once again retested or nearly retested this level. So a good thing to do in this case would not be to work with a simple horizontal line, but to draw a box, perhaps even all the way from here, so from this high point. So this could be a point where you could have bought. Same happened here. The price continued upwards, reached the point of resistance, which was tested a couple of times before, also still at the same time establishing this trend line and a ascending triangle shaped once again. Going further into the future, looking at a opposite signal, a bearish signal. One of the most famous in Bitcoin, at least, is this one. The line is red. Don't let that scare you. But this red line and the support zone that eventually broke signals let me turn my magnet off, a descending triangle. And this is often a bearish pattern. And here it actually, it worked that way. Price broke and price continued lower. Let's just go along the time. What you see here, you establish your horizontal level, or you can draw your box depending on your preference. And the same happened here. There was a trend line visible in price. So price followed the trend, and eventually on high volume, buyers decided to break up. So we have a bearish descending triangle here and an ascending triangle there. Same happened here again. So this you could see in the middle of a downtrend, but you can also see it at tops. So the magnet is kind of screwing things, I think. Same happened here. You have your horizontal level or your horizontal box that you can draw, and there is a rough pattern in here that tells you, okay, the highs are getting lower and lower. Volume is also descending. So every time that price tries to move up, the volume continues to decrease, meaning weakness or low energy in the movement. And then ultimately that's a signal to say, okay, price may go down. Eventually, price reached a support level based on this point here, and it moved up again. So your horizontals are important here, and your diagonals. Both together create these patterns. Once again, you can see this on many time frames. More of a symmetrical triangle here, perhaps, was this one. Symmetrical triangles tend to be neutral. So you can see that this is neutral, but the general trend, of course, is moving upwards. So if you see a symmetrical triangle, generally it means that once it breaks out, the trend is likely to continue, as it did in this case. So the line here just gives you a point of reference of, and signals when buyers might be stepping in. So you saw the volume here increasing a little bit before actually really buyers decided, okay, let's also break this level of support. Let's see, draw our horizontal line here. All the way from this point we can draw it. And buyers really pushed through hard on high volume. And what you can see happening right here, let's just, I know we're talking about patterns and wedges, but ultimately you need to get down TA in its entirety. So this could be a level where you draw a support. So all the way based back on this point or this level. And right now you see that price is finding its place there. And it looks like price is moving away from this zone. So that's it for patterns and wedges, or triangles and wedges, I should say. There are more, but these are the most common. And before you go in deeper into this, just discover these ones first and see if they work for you. Again, play around with it, test it out, and see if you can already start to develop a style that suits you. See you in the next video where we'll talk about flags and pennants.